I spent 50 years of my life with a heavyweight champion of the world. Everywhere he went, everybody knew him. Everybody wanted to touch him and talk to him. While the president of the United States or the president of Russia was trying to get his attention, he was picking up a baby or a young person and touching them and talking to them and empathizing with them. That's what made him a great champion. Environmental justice is the same exact thing. You have to take care of the people who don't have the power to take care of themselves. You have to represent them in halls that they sometimes are not represented in. Because if you don't do that, you're not really on a life mission that is worthwhile.
When we think about health, there are things that we can control, and there are things that we cannot control. We can change our diet, we can exercise more, but you cannot change the air that you breathe.
I began to experience a breathing problem. It got so bad that going from my bed to the bathroom was a 2-stop trip. That gave me a first-hand experience with what it's like to have asthma or some other respiratory disorder caused by air pollution.
I grew up in this area, and so as a small child, I remember when, if we were playing, we could not breathe. You would clutch your side, you would try to catch a breath. You know, it's a terrible feeling.
I was diagnosed with severe asthma, and I've been hospitalized or admitted to the emergency room. So many times I've lost count.
Todos nosotros en esta familia tenemos problemas de salud, especialmente problemas respiratorios. Todos tenemos asma y es muy frustrante para mí como madre no poder ayudarle. Tantos vecinos que ya hemos despedido, que han sido impactados por el cáncer. My biggest fear is that I get cancer and I wouldn't be able to see my kids, my children's kids.
I think a lot of people accept it as one of the grim realities of living in Los Angeles. I've had a husband die of pulmonary fibrosis, and that's a very personal experience with the difficulty to breathe.
When you can't breathe, when you're having trouble breathing, everything else becomes secondary. All you can think about is breathing.
At one of our meetings in the community, an elderly woman stepped to the microphone and she just read 40 names. And she said, "Those are the people in my community that have passed away in the last several years of cancer. And where were you?" We're working as hard as we can so that there aren't more names added to that list. The biggest challenge that we have, frankly, is from mobile sources, planes, trains, trucks.
Some of our early findings suggest that even short-term exposure to the type of pollution that we find along busy freeways can activate genes in the brain that are genes that we associate with cancer.
In Southern California, the air pollution's improved dramatically. You can now see the mountains. What people don't know is what you don't see can hurt you.
There is preliminary proof that when a pregnant woman breathes, the PM particles that are microscopic transmit through her bloodstream to the fetus, causing possible brain damage. That's scary stuff. Can't let that happen.
Last summer, there were so many unhealthful air days, just a string in a row. I was staying at home trying to protect my airways, and I still got really sick, and I ended up hospitalized for 3 days.
Sometimes people say, well, it used to be so much worse, now isn't it good enough? But when people are still struggling like my mom is, when we still have some of the worst air quality in the nation, and when people are dying because of the poor air quality, it's not good enough yet.
Once you realize the impacts of these mobile sources, If they're not electric, they're emitting toxic gases. You just can't sit there idle. You've got to take action.
My husband and my 2 kids, they're 4 and 6, we moved to Torrance about 5 years ago. About a year after we moved to our house here, a nearby refinery was having a lot of flaring events. And I started to notice that there was this black dust on my car and on the windowsill, and I was just puzzled by it. I kind of started paying more attention and realizing that the dust was coming at the same time of the flaring, and the kids were coughing more often, and when they would get sick, we'd have to have inhalers prescribed to us. My kids were actually at the park at 8:30 in the morning, and all of a sudden, we just started seeing this kind of ash rain down, and the kids said it was snowing. So we came home and we found out that the refinery had exploded and that it was actually industrial ash raining down on us from a mile away.
There's a number of people now who say, "What are you doing? The air's okay." But it's not fine for everybody.
You would never see a freeway go through a very wealthy area, but the freeways are situated in the low-income areas. We have kids that live literally steps from a 12-lane highway.
I believe clean air is a right. It's not a privilege. We took a tour to Beverly Hills and we're like, oh wow, like where are the freeways, where are the factories, because that was a norm to us, and that shouldn't be the norm to us. It shouldn't matter where we come from, we should have the same benefits as someone in a different community.
We shouldn't have to choose between jobs and our environment.
I know that the economy has got to be considered, and I know that you got to put people before economy. So it's just a horrific balancing act. And we're continually trying to work on that.
We know there's technologies available that can help us get to our clean air objectives. We know the technology works. We have a shot at cleaning the air if we can have both policy, technology, and incentives lining up. 10 years ago, there were no electric cars. There were no fuel cell cars. We're seeing that progression in the light-duty sector, and now we've got to transfer that into the medium and heavy-duty truck sector.
We need to work all together and be united in saying that clean air is something we really value and want to work together to change.
I see the first time an opportunity for helping communities understand the impact of environmental injustice, and then help communities understand they have a civil right to quality of air, a civil right to have an environment free of pollutants.
All of us have an obligation, and we're all stewards of this beautiful earth. Examine your life and your daily lifestyle. Do you need to drive your car to work? Is there a train or a bus nearby? Maybe if you can't take it every day, take it once a week.
The more that we can educate the community, especially communities that don't have access to resources, I think that we can impact personal behavior.
Everybody has a right to breathe clean air. Everybody has a right to participate in the decision-making process.
Your voice does matter, and your voice could make a change to not only yourself, but to the people around you.
The people in the senior citizen homes have a role. The everyday worker has a role. And the children definitely have a role. This is everybody's endeavor, and you got to get us all involved.